This episode of the Bammsters Show is brought to you in part by bacon. It's nutritious, it's delicious, and if you haven't had any bacon today, then you just aren't living right, son. So head down to your local grocer and inquire about the different types of bacon that they have available. And after you cook those puppies up and enjoy that bacony goodness, you can come back and comment with a thanks. Get some bacon and live your life right.
Hello guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Bammster Show. Yes guys, last episode of the year where we take a few weeks break to recuperate, and many drinkings and much food eatens, including bacon. Right guys, it's going to be all of us that actually manage, produce, record all the bits and pieces for your lovely enjoyment. Tonight's host will be G himself. G, say hi.
Wait, what? I'm hosting? Damn it. Is that one of those
voluntold, mate,
things?
Voluntold.
Okay, yes, everybody, it is the birthday episode. I think Bam said it was the last one of the year. I think we have one more. Well, we'll figure that one out. And yeah, this time it's all about us, and all about what we've done this past year, all about the episodes, the gaming, the movies, the TV shows, and Drax's incessant drinking. Anyways, with us today, all the way over from the US, there is Jolly Roger.
Yo, what's up? East Coast, West Coast, just saying.
And of course, to counter that, I guess West Coast, we have not only Draconis, but also his sidekick TJ.
As a former born and raised East Coaster, I still have to agree with Jolly that East Coast is in fact West Coast.
That's right, I like this guy.
Well then why does it rhyme better best with West?
We the beast from the East. That's how we do.
And Bam, why would you say including bacon? Like that was even a question. I mean, that's part of the regular course of the meal.
Because I'm trying to kill the veganism propaganda. The vegan propaganda. That's my mission for the next year. Destroy vegans everywhere. Because these fools need to be put down in the dirt to become vegetables for me to eat along with my bacon.
I was just gonna say, if they're eating all the veggies, isn't that more bacon for us?
But you know what? That's a fair point. Vegans, you guys can live. You live. You eat all the vegetables. I eat all the bacon. We're fine there, bro.
There's some bacon that goes well with specific vegetables. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not trying to push a vegetable agenda here, but I'm just saying, you know, much like Batman and Robin, there are two great tastes that taste great together. I'm just saying.
Nothing goes better with bacon than bacon, bro. Bacon is bacon. More bacon is better bacon.
Absolutely. It's the
bacon
double
is a
whammy
vegetable.
of bacon.
Didn't you know this?
It's the candy of meat.
No, bacon's a vegetable. No, bacon's a meat. It's a liquid. It can be put in liquids. It's a plant. It's a tree. It's a herb. Bacon is bacon, bro. Bacon is everything.
Drac, I'm sure you know, the U.S. government's trying to classify pizza as a vegetable for public schools so that they can get it in there more. Couldn't bacon get that classification as well?
I think there's got to be plenty of healthy benefits to having bacon, the way that it makes you feel.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it seems that anymore that politics is more focused on feel good anyway, so it makes you feel good, so we should have a law protecting bacon.
Yeah.
Well, since your political sphere in America is completely broken, I'm pretty sure your classification of vegetables, meats, and other products is also a bit broken. I'm pretty sure pizza is not a vegetable.
I'm also just going to say, I have Twitter. There's nothing feel good about your politics these days.
We're not going to go there. Because every time we mention things, we get struck because YouTube things. Yes, so let's not go there. Let's not go there this time.
In all fairness, the pizza not being a vegetable, do you guys not have a tree in your backyard where you pick slices of pizza off? Because I know I do.
Bam seems to have a bacon tree, though.
I want a bacon tree. I got a bacon tree, bro.
A bacon tree, I'll have a pizza bush.
No, mate, you can't have bush.
That's a good point.
It's trees, bro. It's trees, bro.
Nothing wrong with the bush.
Well, I'm a tree hugger. I love my bacon. Let's put it that way.
And apparently you manscape.
I saw those pictures that you posted with the Yeti. There was not much manscaping going on there.
There was man grooming going down. I might have put it next to my erection. I might have put the erect form of the microphone next to my hat. Yeah, you know what I mean. That one.
There was a lot of skin,
yeah.
a lot of
There was
hair.
a lot of skin involved. Yeah.
Well, on that note, from those of us on the West Coast, hello, and to G, good luck.
Yeah. How am I gonna wrangle you guys this time? I have no idea, but this is gonna be interesting, at least for me. So, should we get going with what we kind of enjoyed this past year?
Yes, I've enjoyed listening to guests' bacon ideas and been trying them myself. Some of their ideas are good. Wouldn't have put bacon and peanut butter together. That was good.
So good.
Oh, mate, it's good.
Are you all now just drooling because Bam started talking about bacon?
I
More or
haven't eaten
less.
lunch yet, man, and I would like to get on to the next subject because I don't want to get too hungry here.
No, I was actually thinking, we all watch movies, we all watch TV shows and gaming, and we talk about all of these things. So in the world of entertainment, kind of looking back at this past year and what we really enjoyed. What better place to start out with one of the easier topics? Drac, what book did you read this year that you really enjoyed?
That wasn't on the list. You're ambushing me here. But I actually have a couple different answers for you. Do you want like a regular book or a comic book?
Well, I fully expected you to say something along the line that you don't read books, but okay.
Comic book's a real book. Don't insult.
I said regular, not real.
What are you saying? We're irregular? I'm glaring evilly at him.
No, I know earlier in the year, and I'm kicking myself because I'm having trouble figuring out what the title was, but R.A. Salvatore is one of my favorite authors, and I've been catching up on some of his stuff. So the last book he wrote in his Forgotten Realms Dritz series, I read that earlier this year, and then with regards to comic books, I actually managed to get a hold of the set for Lock and Key, which is a really awesome storytelling experience. Just like reading through the whole thing, the artwork was great. Another cool thing for any folks who might be interested, they're actually going to be making a TV show about it, I think actually sometime next year.
Okay, what I took away from that is that R.A. Salvatore still writes books. Wow.
I've been reading his stuff for going on close to 30 years now.
I don't know who he is. I hope he's a good author.
Bam, it's a Dungeons and Dragons thing. You don't want to join in on the whole book thing.
I read a book this year. In fact, it was so nice, I read it twice.
Let me guess, it was by Jeremy Clarkson.
No.
Was it a manual?
No. It was BR 2170. I found an old copy of BR 2170 lying around, and I actually picked it up and read it. Fond memories were brought back with that book.
You wouldn't even know what that is.
BR Book of Reference 2170 has it has a few pictures in it. There we go.
Jolly, do you want to chip on the whole book thing, or should we move on to movies?
I mean, I could Google like top 10 books of the year if you want me to go that route.
So you're saying you didn't read a single thing?
I read some manuals. There was some manuals involved. Setting some stuff up, I'm sure. But no. So, TJ, did you read any real books this year? Is that where you're going, Draconis? Is that where you're going?
Wow. Yeah, I mean, they existed, so I guess I did read some real books this year. So, I mean, that's a plus, right?
I'm not saying anything about comics. I'm not saying that. Draconis did, not me.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Did I read any real books this year? That is a good question. Yes, I did. I guess it's not a new book. It was Stuart Scott, the former broadcaster for ESPN, did a book before he passed away, and I read that, and it's awesome, but it's really depressing. Yeah, for as nerdy as I am, I also love sports. So it's a weird balance that fights inside me. But that was probably one of the best experiences I've had reading a book in a while. You get a lot out of it, so that was good. And then on the comics end of things, it's been a really interesting year for comics. It's been really kind of up and down in terms of content. But for what it's worth, 3 of my favorite books that have come out within this year, Joe Hill and Gabe Rodriguez, who did Lock and Key, they also did an adaptation of Tales from the Dark Side, the old horror show from the 80s that Joe Hill's dad, Stephen King, did. So that was a lot of fun. The most consistent comic that I've been reading all year, and since the first issue, has been Tom Waltz and Kevin Eastman's run on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's the most fun comic on the rack today. And then over at the Marvel side of things, the Champions and Miss Marvel.
That sounds almost like a shopping list. I need to go out and buy stuff now.
I'm not saying. All I'm saying is support comics and support your comic shops.
Slight headache. I'm in Belgium. You haven't seen comic shops over here.
Is this something I'm going to have to experience?
Let's just say they're very pretty, and very arty, very farty.
Very expensive.
Well, I know, especially out that way, there's a lot more respect for comics as an art form and a literary form over there than there is over here. So, I mean, what with, Tintin, Smurfs, Asterix, all that. So,
you should definitely come over here and experience. We refer to it as the Tintin Museum, but the Musée de Bande Dessinée, the comic strip museum. It is very, there's a whole floor just for Hergé, but it is very much going into the whole history of comic books, but it has a very Belgian leaning, very European leaning. There's not any Marvel to be found or any DC.
Disney Comics, it's funny because Disney Comics here in the United States mostly do pretty poorly with a couple exceptions, but I know especially in Belgium, in parts of Europe, Belgium, France, Spain, all that, even stuff like Disney is, the Disney comics are treated like high art. So that's definitely something I would love to experience at some point, is making my way to the comic strip museum out there.
I'm just shocked to hear that Disney and high art have been used in the same sentence.
Surprisingly enough, check out some of the European Disney comics. It's a lot of it.
When you say high art, I'm thinking Mona Lisa, those sorts of things. That's what I'm amazed that Disney now being considered high art.
Look at some of that stuff out there. You'll see, especially in the Franco-Belgian region, in Spain. In Spain, there's a really amazing comic called Black Sad. If you want to see really just fabulous, beautiful comic books, that's a big one right there.
And let it just be clear, Mona Lisa was the only classical picture painting I actually know off the top of my head. And I know the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles started their renaissance back in the 1100s? Something like that? Something stupid like that? So there we go.
Yes, exactly. All of them. I will say this, the only real high art I know are the dogs playing poker painting. So, I mean, I can't really be a true judge on art, obviously.
Was that done by the guy that chopped his ear off? I can't remember. G would know this.
Yeah, no, Vincent van Gogh did not paint the dogs playing poker. It has a different name, can't remember the name of it now. That one's actually classical. Good. Movies, because we've all watched movies at least this year, haven't we? I was worried there would be a lot of silence right there. Okay, well, some of us watched movies, and I guess it's been, it's still this whole comic book movie. Ooh, we're not really getting away from that topic, are we? Where, is it correct to say this year there's been a slight slump in them?
I would necessarily say there's a slump. I mean, when you look at what came out this year, you had Guardians of the Galaxy, you had Wonder Woman, you had Spider-Man, Thor, Justice League,
Blade Runner 2049.
Yeah, there's been a heavy lean towards sci-fi fantasy comics, essentially kind of genre movies. So I don't think it was a slump. I think there are some people who are burnt out by it, but if you do it right, they see why it still works.
Well, you mentioned some of the interesting ones there, like there were Wonder Woman, and that really rekindled the whole going back to movies and watching them in the theater, because everybody had to go to the cinema to watch that one.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that movie right there, it was groundbreaking, and people use that term a lot and throw it around, and it really has no meaning anymore. But this movie did what everybody said couldn't be done, and it was take a female superhero, and albeit the biggest one in that industry, and make her the focus, make her the starring role, the title character. And they didn't just do it, they knocked it out of the park, and it even shattered Warner Brothers' expectations.
Well,
I'm just surprised people said it couldn't be done. Who said it couldn't be done? I was worried that the main actress couldn't pull it off because she's a short, stubby person. But she acted well in it, I thought. Well enough to do it. That was my only thing of it. I didn't think she was the right pick for the film. Although, having seen the film, she acted very well. I still don't think she's the right pick for it.
Oddly enough, you get a lot of people saying that a movie like that couldn't be done. I mean, we are, at this point now, we're going into 10 years of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and still not one movie where a female character is the starring character or the title character, even with all the success of the Marvel films. And I love Marvel Comics, I love Marvel superheroes, but if you can take a risk on Guardians of the Galaxy and Ant-Man and not take a risk before them on Black Widow or Captain Marvel, there is a precedent that gets set. So the fact that the DC movies have mostly been really weak, that Wonder Woman, the only female starring title movie, exceeded all those expectations, that's a pretty big notch in the belt to have on their part.
You see, this is where I disagree with you, TJ, because Catwoman was a film that had Halle Berry, a Berry person, right? She was that's a superhero, right? That's a movie.
Nope, that one doesn't count,
hang on, stop there. I don't care. It was a film with the superhero character that was female. It's just not the character's fault, or the Catwoman character, right? That the film was poorly acted, poorly directed, poorly produced, and sucked balls. That's
while all those things
anyone's
are true,
fault apart from the guys who made the film.
Catwoman's not a hero.
She's an anti-hero, mate.
More than that. All of those things are true. The movie does suck. It's terrible. Yes.
It's a terrible film.
It's awful.
Now, when it comes to Superwoman,
that movie is Catwoman in name only. It has nothing to do with the character from the comics.
Correct.
It had nothing to do with Batman. So you can't even put that in there. It's awful.
Too bad. It's already in there, mate. It's already been put out into the stratosphere of shit films. But when you get a film that's been acted right, directed right, produced right, and advertised, most importantly, advertised correctly, it is a good film.
The difference between Wonder Woman and Catwoman is that Catwoman is a character derivative of Batman, whereas Wonder Woman is a character who stars on her own and is not derivative of another male character, which few female superheroes have. This again sets this movie in the stratosphere.
Semantics. You're muddying the water with impure semantics, right? Superhero chick versus superhero
facts.
chick.
I'm throwing
poorly
facts out
made,
there.
poorly acted, poorly produced. Wonder Woman, everything went right. Good film. You know, like the Hulk films, right? All the Hulk films are crap. Then you put Hulk in his own film, not in his own film, but you put Hulk with a bunch of other Marvel superheroes. Awesome. You know, great, brilliant. You see?
Wait. The Hulk film with Ed Norton, that was a really good Hulk film.
Crap film. The ones before that were crap as well.
The ones
he gets
before
all
that were crap.
angry and goes to the nuclear science. Angry.
Yeah,
crap.
no, the one before that was crap, but the one with Ed Norton, that was a pretty good one.
Nah, all crap. But you put Hulk in a superhero movie with all the other ones, and there's like a tongue-in-cheek between him and Thor. Hulk's suddenly good again. It's all about, I reckon, production, direction, and acting. And you can't blame the actor for poor direction. But you can blame the actor for bad acting. Which Mary Berry, whatever her name is, right? That's, you know, but she's a good actress. My favorite film with her in it was Swordfish. Acted great in that film. I actually believed, you know, her anyway.
Bam, you just like that one because she shows her boobs.
That's what I was thinking.
Believe it or not, the versions I've seen that film don't. They cut that part out. I'm not even joking. Edited out in the UK. But I've seen the American versions, and yes, boobage was there. And I'll tell you what, nice.
TJ, can I say you touched on something that was kind of interesting? That Wonder Woman movie, just to go back to it, it did something else that nobody expected. Made us care about a DC movie.
Yeah, Drax heard me say it for years. I've got 3 different DC characters tattooed on me, and I've thought most of these movies were really, really terrible. And Wonder Woman, I can't believe I left feeling the way I did. And number one, that's a character in the DC universe who I've always liked, so it's not like I was going in disliking the character. I really wanted to love the movie, but I had low expectations. And I came out more than happy with it, and it's pretty interesting that for as dour and just as negative as the DC universe has been on film, it's perfect that a character like Wonder Woman makes you care about this stuff again.
I agree. The DC films lately have been absolute horsepish. Total devastation to my favorite superhero, and I won't lie, is a DC character. His name happens to be Bruce Wayne. Bruce Awesome Sexy Man Wayne. I identify with many things about him, especially black. Seeing him in Batman vs Superman, it's like, oh dear fucking god, why you do this? Why you do this?
Yeah,
why?
Everything that makes Batman was completely left out of that movie. You know, sure, there's the scary, there's the intense and all that. But there's one line that sums up just how bad Batman is in that movie. Alfred says, if there's a 99% chance that he's our ally, and Bruce is like, well, that means there's a 1% chance he's our enemy. And it's like, dude, do the math. That means he's a good guy. Relax. I just want to see a Batman who, he doesn't have to be touchy-feely, but if you don't have a Batman who isn't compassionate towards the people that he is protecting in some way, then you're just going to make him a bad guy at some point, and that's not interesting.
The latest Batmans, right, the ones with the British actor that has a lisp, right, those were pretty okay. I like the one with the Joker. That one was very good. I like that film. But that's not Batman. Batman is a freaking detective, right? Mm-hmm. That's first and foremost. He is a detective. And when Superman and versus Batman, there was no detecting. There was just a lot of
Well, you can't say
like,
that.
Hang on a minute, mate.
Outside of Batman and Batman Returns, there's been no detecting, and even in those movies, there's been very little detecting.
There's no detecting in him, and that's my main gripe. Batman's a detective first and foremost. He's a crime solver.
It's why the greatest Batman movie of all time is Batman: Mask of the Phantasm.
Okay, you have a good one.
It's the animated series. It made it into theaters. Batman actually does detecting in there. The best Joker of all time is in there. Yeah, Mark Hamill, not Heath Ledger. And it's awesome.
The Killing Joke, I thought that was a good film. Even though there was, I wouldn't say as much detecting as I'd like, but The Killing Joke, I thought that was a good film as well. Killing Joke, I like that.
Loved the comic, hated the movie.
Well, I read the comic, but I also liked the film as well. It was a different, I want to say a different approach to it, but it still came out with the same result. Or a similar result.
The problem with The Killing Joke as a movie is to fill up time, they do all that nonsense where Batman and Batgirl have a relationship with one another, and that's awful. And anytime anybody puts Bruce Wayne and Barbara Gordon into a romantic or sexual relationship, they forget that Barbara Gordon is A, Bruce's adopted son's girlfriend, and B, Bruce's best friend's daughter. It's creepy, and it makes Batman look like a lech. No.
Playa.
Well, gee, you want to step in and wrangle these cats back into line?
Ooh, I don't know. I'm having fun just sitting here listening to them. But yeah, I'm also aware that we have a time limit at some level. Let me just, to wrap up, at least DC side. Will the DCEU, the extended universe thing, the movies particularly, will that be better in 2018?
I think, at least from my perspective, they've started to take a step in the right direction. I think Wonder Woman was a good push for that. So, fingers crossed, I guess. Tej?
Yeah, Wonder Woman was fantastic, and not in comparison, but standing on its own, obviously. Justice League, so much better than I thought it was going to be. Doesn't mean it didn't have its flaws, didn't mean it was a perfect movie. There's a whole lot I would change. I'm looking at you, Momoa Man, but I think there's a lot of room for improvement right now. So
I thought it was Aqua Bro.
I changed it from Aqua Bro to Momoa Man because he literally just played Jason Momoa underwater. He didn't even do anything with the sea life. He didn't do anything with any of the creatures in the ocean. He's just Momoa Man. But with that said, I think there's a lot of room for improvement. They just have to embrace what makes the DC universe special. I think the Shazam film is a step in the right direction. Zachary Levi as Captain Marvel will be great. The Rock as Black Adam. I have wanted him to play Black Adam since I was in high school. So this is
I tell you
awesome.
What, that's actually going to be that's a good pick. Black Adam with The Rock. Yeah, I was thinking of that. That's a good pick, I think, yeah.
He's going to bring it, man. It's going to be awesome. And the best part of it is he got the Rock ended up getting a lot of research done through one of his buddies who used to wrestle with him in the WWE, Shane Helms, who's a big comic book fan, but even more so, his favorite villain is Black Adam. So there was a lot of funneling through him for the role research. So I think the Shazam film I think that's gonna be another one that blows away everybody's expectations. Just the main thing they have to avoid, don't make him edgy, dark, cool guy. What makes Captain Marvel special is that Billy is a good kid and was given this gift because he's pure. Let Captain Marvel be pure.
And let Black Adam be Black Adam, and Rock plays a very good evil villain type superhero type thing.
Hell yeah.
Love it.
Hell yeah.
Love it. He needs to play
Oh.
bad superhero. Yes, do it.
Absolutely.
And see, I haven't asked about the Marvel side because I know that we have some comic shop talk coming up, and there was a trailer for Infinity Wars. So, do we really need to touch on Marvel? They seem to just be hitting.
No. Let's keep it DC. We're all holding out hope that DC can get their shit wide and actually get their foot through the door and actually make a good. Oh wait, they did. Wonder Woman. And not mess around with ulterior agendas and whatever have you, and try and please the audience. Oh wait, they have them already. Suicide Squad. Oh wait, never mind.
Don't forget, they also have 2 more films coming up that already have writers and directors attached to them as well. You've got the Joss Whedon written and directed Batgirl film, and then you also have Phil Lord and Chris Miller, who did the Jump Street movies and did the Lego movie. They're doing Nightwing, and those 2, I have a vested interest in Nightwing especially because that's my favorite DC superhero. So I'm hoping that both of these turn out well, and I'm hoping that Phil Lord and Chris Miller can prove that they just don't do comedy, that they can do a well-rounded character like Dick Grayson. So again, there's a lot of high hope at this point. They have to avoid all of the Zack Snyder trappings and failings and really just do stuff that feels like the DC universe.
Oh, shut up, Wesley. It's gonna suck balls. They need to follow the line with regards to Wonder Woman. Make it a proper film. Mess around with it, just make it a proper film.
See, you guys completely ruined my segue into the next bit. Yeah, because I was thinking, okay, so we ignore Marvel, but then we drop into Marvel TV shows. Because they've been awesome this past year. Now we have to talk about
I've been scared to watch any Netflix-orientated Marvel films because they are just so good. So good, and we were for a time, they were like addicted to what was it, The Defenders. Oh, Jesus.
The Defenders was good. It was awesome watching those 3 get together, and
Yeah, it was.
That one I really liked. And I liked the end of it where they set up, are we gonna get a Daughters of the Dragon thing now?
That would be super cool. I found the show, I really enjoyed the show. There were a lot of things to like about it. I thought that the ending was a little anticlimactic, but overall I thought it was a good thing. And the same thing with like Avengers Infinity War that you mentioned, and with Defenders on the show itself, or getting to see these characters not just in their own standalone title shows, but then getting to see them all together like that. That's something that I don't know if a younger me would have ever dreamed of, because it just would have been too difficult back then. But it's awesome that we're getting to see those kinds of things now. I tell everybody, it's a great time to be a comics fan. All of this stuff that I never thought was going to be possible is possible, and that's super cool. Defenders, I love top to bottom, back to front. I thought it was great. I loved the ending. I love the setup for Fall from Grace from Daredevil. Love the Daughters of the Dragon setup. I'm ready for Iron Fist 2. Give him his costume. I'm ready for more Luke Cage. I'm ready for more Jessica Jones. All of it was awesome. I'm starting Punisher today, so I'm hoping for a guy like myself who is not a Punisher fan. Daredevil Season 2 really did a lot with the Punisher that I thought was cool, so I'm excited to see them go forward with it there. But, they're doing exactly what you need to do. They're making these characters larger than life, but they're also grounding them. They're making them feel like real people, and it's why all of this has worked. It's why Daredevil, far and away, has been the best of all of not just the Netflix Marvel shows, but the Marvel shows, period. Daredevil is the absolute benchmark of what you want it to be. Well, and I'm only...
I disagree. I prefer Defenders over Daredevil, but Daredevil's still a good film. I mean, series. I agree with that one, at least. I prefer Defenders over Daredevil, personally, but still a good series.
Well, and I'm only about maybe halfway through, if that, through the Punisher series so far, but when you talk about... when you talk about grounding the characters, one of the things that I thought was really cool that they've done, and this isn't so much really a spoiler alert, it doesn't touch on the story so much as it's one of the other elements that ties into it, is they're really focusing on veterans and what's happening to them when they come back from the war and the struggles that they're going through. And, some of these guys are doing good, some of them are really struggling, some of them are failing, falling into categories of, you characterize them as good or evil, but they're hitting different aspects of that spectrum of the veteran coming home from war and the things that those guys are having to deal with. And that to me has always been a little bit of an important subject, and I think that's really cool that they're actually touching on that.
Do they bring up how the government weaponizes them and uses them, but doesn't really help them at all in their struggle with their PTSD and coming back and re-assimilating into normal life after war? They don't talk about that.
Let's not go there, please. Let's not go there, please. I'm very hot-headed about topics, particularly with regards to that and my history. Let's just stay away from that whole section. Blocking that section off, please, with duct tape, gaffer tape, and chicken wire. It's all been held together. Right.
For sure.
Let's leave that section alone. Let's leave it alone. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. Leave it alone.
Okay, so getting away from it a little bit, just to say, you guys were pretty much all wrong. It's Jessica Jones that was the best one of the Marvel shows.
Jessica Jones.
Followed very
Interesting you
close.
say that, G.
No, that one, and then followed very closely by Legion. That's the two best one in
You
my
actually
opinion.
liked Legion, did you? Okay. I take it and leave it, that one. It was okay. I mean, it passed the time. It was a good watch. But, fair enough.
Plaza was awesome on Legion for sure. I'll definitely give you that. And I love David. I love the Shadow King. That was all the stuff when I was probably like 9-10 years old reading comics. So it was cool to see all that stuff make it onto television, just because out of all of the X-Men stuff, that's the last thing I would expect anybody to touch. So it was surprising, and it was a pleasant surprise. So definitely cool to see that kind of material make it to the screen. And to be honest with you, I'm never really completely sold on live adaptations of the X-Men, because it always feels half good, half bad. But this one, you don't need to be a fan of comics or a fan of the X-Men to watch that show. You can just watch it as a really cool, kind of creepy, weird, psychological horror show. And that's definitely a big strength to it.
I couldn't help myself. The first thing I thought of when you're like, X-Men, half good, half bad, is, do you know what happens to a toad when it's struck by lightning?
God. That's all bad. Dude, that's all bad.
Yeah, I will admit, when it comes to Legion, I'm biased because I am, I started with X-Men. That's the first comics I read. So, no.
Like, yeah, with the Legion stuff, you were reading all, like, the New Mutant stuff, obviously, with, David and all that, the Demon Bear stuff, Bill Sienkiewicz, and that it's so cool to see them pull from that.
Yeah, and it's awesome that they pull from particularly that pool, as you say. There is so much other stuff that they could attempt to use, and most of it would fail miserably because it doesn't make that transition well. This one, with all the things they tried and all the experiments they arguably made in the series, they mostly made it work, and they took chances, and they should at least be rewarded for that.
Absolutely, and I think the ability to adapt a character like David Haller and put him on screen like this, and the Shadow King and all that, I think that really sets Fox and Marvel up really well with New Mutants for next year. And again, I've been super critical on the X-Men films. I don't think that any of them are nearly as good as everybody makes them out to be. But I think New Mutants can break that for me. I think that's going to be a great superhero movie. It's going to be a great horror movie. It's going to be a great X-Men movie. And again, they're pulling from that very specific 18 issues that Chris Claremont and Bill Sienkiewicz did together. So it's just like Legion. I think that's going to be a knockout.
There's some stuff coming down that pipe that's just going to be interesting. Let me post, just as a round table thing, best TV show then this year. What's the best thing you watched on the telly, on the Netflix or Hulu's or similar things online? What should we go back and rewatch, those of us that might have missed something?
I guess I'll hit it first. The Exorcist. I had no idea that show would be any good. I love the first film and I love the third film. I think those are just two perfect examples of great horror. And truth be told, I didn't think the show was going to do it well. And when you get to a point in the series where you see how it connects to the original film, you don't see it coming the way they do it, and it's just perfect. And season 2 right now is is awesome. So I'm loving. Yeah, that's that for sure. The Exorcist.
I think for me, I know it ended this year, The Strain. I loved that. And another one that was on Netflix. I have a hard time picking just one because I watch too many TV shows. But if we're leaving out all the Marvel stuff we've already talked about, another great one that I think was on, then got canceled, and then they're bringing back for a series finale is Sense8. That was a pretty interesting storytelling experience.
Bam, Jolly, any of you want to chip in?
I'm embarrassed to say.
Is it the Great British Bake Off again?
No.
Pick an easy one. Say Stranger Things.
Project Runway.
Jolly, didn't you watch anything this year? You've been awfully quiet.
Molly fell asleep.
I have watched some stuff, but I'm kind of curious what Bam is embarrassed about here.
I'll tell you what, you each get one guess. And if you guess it wrong, I'll tell you. If you guess it right...
Well, my guess was Great British Bake Off, so I'm out.
Incorrect.
Drag Race.
Incorrect, you dick. Incorrect.
Well, it's got to be some kind of car show, right?
Incorrect, Drac. Come on, which car show?
Drag Race isn't a car show? I'm confused.
I don't watch car shows, dude, so I wouldn't even be able to guess.
You, sir, need to have yourself examined. Go out now, have a word with yourself, and put yourself in the corner and on the naughty step.
I watch too many other sci-fi type TV shows. I don't have time to put in any boring real life drama.
I'll warm it up for you. It was a movie.
How does that fit into the TV show category? What the hell?
Well, I didn't care much for TV shows apart from Game of Thrones, but...
So wait a minute. I watched a movie, but I watched it 20 minutes at a time, so it classifies as a TV show.
That's a miniseries.
No. The only thing that I won't lie, this is going to sound really bad, I really enjoyed it because reasons, oof. Right, you guys have to guess. Seriously, guess. It was a movie.
What came out this year that's particularly embarrassing?
The My Little Pony movie.
My Little Pony movie?
Fucking Prenus, yes! I took my 2-year-old daughter to go see My Little Pony. She loved it, and I loved the fact she kept quiet for the best part of an hour and a half, 2 hours. So yes, that's why. That's pretty much it. And the movie isn't as bad as everyone makes it out to be. It's actually alright.
That was, what was it, an hour and 45 minutes, 2 hours of my life I'll never get back.
It was hour and 45, but, you know, the trailers before and the credits on, she watched the whole thing. The whole thing. I swear to God, I had to check if she was breathing. Her eyes didn't blink once. Her first trip to a cinema, and she kept quiet, and I thought she was going to be like all the other kids, screaming and crying. No, not this one. Not this child. Watch the pony, and that's it done.
So it was your favorite
good.
For experience rather than content?
It was my favorite for experience because my child kept quiet, and the movie itself isn't as bad as everyone makes it out to be. It's alright. It's okay.
Well, since Bam doesn't have a TV show, I'll throw one in for him. If you haven't seen The Magicians, that's another one worth checking out.
That one's...
Game of Thrones, dude. Game of Thrones, bro. Winter's coming.
You know...
No, winter's here.
Yeah, right. I do have to say...
There we go.
Talking about DC earlier, Legends of Tomorrow is so much fun, and Legends of Tomorrow has given me so many DC heroes that I love on live action that I never thought I'd see. The JSA, Mr. Terrific, the Ray, the Atom, all these characters, and it doesn't take itself seriously, but the stakes are still high. It's really found a way to make it feel like a comic book. So I got to give a special shout out to Legends of Tomorrow on this.
I'll join you on that one, particularly because the Arrowverse, well, Arrow particularly is all, everything's bad, everything's gloomy, and everything's gonna fail. And Flash is a little bit the same way. Legends just go, hey, everything's gonna fail, and it's awesome.
Yeah. Look, I'm a huge Justice Society of America fan. I mean, I've got a Starman tattoo, you know, I love the JSA, I love the concept of those characters. And so the fact that they were able to translate them, like, you know, between Dr. Fate and Mr. Terrific and Stargirl and all these characters in there, and it worked. Obsidian looked great too, and that's a tough character to pull off. So, yeah, I love that it embraces all of the things that makes comics really cool. So, yeah, I'm definitely with you on that.
So let me give you two that I've been enjoying. They're on right now even. Well, not on, but... they're being broadcast these days. Dirk Gently has been a better surprise than I thought it would be.
That's been awesome.
And it's just out there. This season is... They've just gone balls to the walls insane with this one. And
How can I help?
it works? Is that the correct way of saying it? It's not great, but it's good, and it's good in all the right ways. The bad things about it are so minor that it just it gets up there.
I'll tell you, man. We did. We had the Dirk Gently cast at our booth at New York Comic Con a couple months ago.
Not jealous at all.
Be careful.
I'll tell you, not at all, right? I'll tell you, every one of them is super, super nice, and they love working on the show. And the interaction between them and the fans for that show is so genuine. You can tell that they love it as much as they do.
TJ, if you value your life, you'll shut up now. G's right now planning your murder. Okay? Shush. Silence, dear boy. Silence. Drac will know what I'm saying this. G is a very jealous person.
Is that what the G stands for?
G stands for he's gonna get you.
So let me move away from Dirk Gently for reasons now before I hurt people. Apparently, you can't have a Star Trek fan on this and talking about what TV shows are awesome without mentioning it. You know, the best Star Trek show that's on right now, The Orville.
Actually, I disagree. Deep Space Nine is on, and right now, that is my now new fave. Deep Space Nine, bro. My new fave. Loved it. For season 1 and 2 suck balls, but the rest are great.
Isn't Deep Space Nine just a Star Trek truck stop?
It is. That's exactly what it is. A truck stop between a planet and a wormhole.
I love Cisco. One of the most...
Mate, Commander Cisco's the best, bro.
One of the most underrated captains.
He should be Commander Cisco.
Word.
In charge of everything.
Bam, I've been saying that to you for 2 years now. Cisco is the best captain.
But no. In my eyes, he'll always be a commander. Always
the best captain.
Cisco.
But moving on.
But gee, back to the Orville though. Seriously, I didn't really expect much out of that show. I expected a lot less, and I expected it to be focusing way more on just making fun of Star Trek and humor and stuff, and not really having many, if at all, any serious moments. But they've really blended that, I think, really well. That show has actually been a lot better than I expected.
Oh yeah, you were expecting Galaxy Quest, the TV series, right?
Oh yeah.
No, well, in a way, but I think I was expecting it even to be more focused on humor than even Galaxy Quest was.
No, it's right now. As a Trekkie, that's the best Star Trek show there is. Right now.
Orville? Really? You guys like that? I thought it was mediocre.
Yeah, but Bam, we don't pay attention to you. You don't even like Star Wars.
What? That's true. I don't like Star Wars. Yes, you are 100% correct. Yes, I don't like Star Wars. The new Star Wars suck balls. I prefer 4, 5, and 6. The rest of them suck balls. You're right. Yes, totally correct, Drac.
So you like those movies where where a brother and a sister kiss, as opposed to those other movies with badass Jedi Knights?
I love incest.
No, but that's cool though.
Yes. But you can't blame Luke. Luke didn't know. How can you blame Luke when he didn't know?
Also,
his
isn't that
lightsaber still ignited?
Just saying, that's about half the content on Pornhub these days, anyway.
Yeah, but I wouldn't know what Pornhub is. But Luke didn't know. You can't blame Luke for that. How did he know? How was he supposed to know? The Force be with? No, whatever, bro.
I don't think Lucas even knew at that point.
I love that.
To be honest, I'm pretty sure he didn't.
Worst.
Okay, this went somewhere else. Jolly, you still not chiming in with your favorite TV show this year?
Oh man, I was just letting that play out. I didn't know where you guys were going.
Yeah, I'm trying to get it somewhere else. Anywhere else.
Jolly being the sane one amongst us all.
It's not a comic. It's not any of that weird stuff, brother sister stuff, but Norseman. That's the TV show I dug. Came out in like 2016. I just had watched it this last year.
Is that like the spoof show that's out?
Viking comedy.
Yeah, that show is
hilarious.
Rad.
It's hilarious.
That also came out 2017 was Rick and Morty. That was also pretty okay.
I'm surprised
no one else watched Rick and Morty,
considering all the things you're into with like the Vikings and all that.
Yeah, well, Viking shows my wife and I watch, but yeah, I hadn't seen Norseman.
Wait, Drac, do you watch the Vikings with your wife?
Yes, the two of us watch it together.
But what the hell does a Latino Hispanic want to watch with a Viking? What?
I don't actually only watch it because, but that is a strong reason for me to keep watching it.
Okay. I'm gonna go and watch Norseman. Jolly recommends it. It's a good show.
I mean, you think it's gonna be like badass Vikings, but then it's just comedy.
Funny Vikings. I think I might watch it after I finish watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine being the best comedy on TV right now. Period.
Well, it's like 3 years old, but
Fine, it's 3 years of hilarious.
Mate, seasons 1 to 3, made in 2013, I think it was. It's still pretty good.
Yeah, I love it.
Sounds like, again, one of those things that are not available here.
It is. Get Netflix.
Yeah, here's the fun thing. Netflix US, Netflix UK has about twice as much content as Netflix rest of the world.
Well, I think I might have to give you my Netflix UK account just so you can watch it.
Nope, we tried similar things, doesn't work. It identifies where you are and goes, you can only watch this
good
stuff.
God, you freaking boring bastard.
What about if you use a VPN? Use a VPN. Make
Netflix has been getting kind of strong on that.
Yeah, Netflix gets annoying about that.
This last year.
Anyways, because we don't have that much time, and since we have Jolly speaking again, he's unmuted his mic. Jolly, best game of the year 2017. What did you play that was better than everything else? And don't say Fortnite Battle Royale.
I have to, man. You see how many hours I put into this game? It'd be wrong, and I'd be a liar if I said I hadn't had the most fun in this game. What game have you been playing? Warframe?
Yeah, the only thing that I've really been playing recently is Warframe, Planes of Eidolon. And it's a bigger disappointment than I had feared. Frame.
Frames to need.
What about you, Drag? What's been a good gaming experience this year?
I have to break this down into platform because...
Oh god.
Oh, gee, nerd. Here it goes. The fucking Nintendo Switch is coming out. Yeah.
Yeah, you knew I was gonna get it in here sooner or later. No.
Bam, not just that. He's gonna go Switch when it's portable, and Switch when it's plugged into the TV, and Switch when it's with the kids. He's gonna have like 4 or 5 Switch games.
I know exactly.
No,
exactly.
but I will tell you
back
this.
Of the car. The Switch when it's the TV. Switch when it's on the park bench playing with my other freaking cab driver. Oh, fucking.
But
geez.
Bam, I will tell you this. My pick for the Switch is gonna surprise you. Because it's not Zelda.
If you say Skyrim, I'm gonna slap you because there's no difference between Skyrim and the other dude that everyone goes on about. What's his name? Twitch Swing?
Doom?
What's his name?
Doom's on Switch now,
Doom.
right? Maybe it's a Doom.
There's Doom on Switch. Oh god.
No, my pick for the Switch for this year is Mario Kart because I love that game. I have so much fun playing that game. And as much as I do love Zelda, I know that I've spent more time playing Mario Kart this year than I have Zelda. On the PS4, probably the only title I've played this year, but was worth playing, and I still haven't had time to finish, was Horizon Zero Dawn. And on PC, gee, get ready to groan. There's been some really great ones. I enjoyed Wildlands. I've been playing a little bit of Wolcen. It's been fun. Divinity Original Sin 2 came out, and that was a great game. But so far, I think the one I've spent the most time on and had the most fun with has been Destiny 2.
It's understandable, man. Like, you have fun with it for a while when you first play Destiny. But I almost guarantee you won't like Destiny 3.
Destiny 3?
And then the grind kicks in. Yeah.
I've already hit the grind.
It's all good.
I'm gonna be the worst nerd here. I haven't played any video games this year.
Then you're not a nerd.
Yeah, there you go. All those comic books and action figures I collect don't mean anything, right?
Exactly.
Maybe like
no
the
V
Minesweeper?
games, brah. No nerdage, brah.
Maybe Snake.
You're just a freak with a book collection.
I still suspect that TJ is the one with the most tape around his glasses.
Funny you should say that. Funny you should say that.
Oh, gee, I feel bad.
So, Bam, what about you? What did you play that was worth playing?
Beginning of the year, it was Destiny. Middle of the year, it was Division and Battlefield 1. And towards the end of the year, it was a lot, and I mean a lot, of Paragon. A lot of Paragon. Shit tons of Paragon. In fact, so much Paragon that everyone came back to play because the devs managed to fix it. And then a few weeks later, simultaneously break it, and now it's unplayable.
Yeah, I think I had about a month of playing Paragon as well.
They found a happy medium, and then they decided to take that happy medium and then kick it to death. And now it's become pointless because heroes just drop all their ultimates all at once and insta-pop you. Bang. It's like, oh, well, there we go. Done.
But there does seem to be a slight pattern, because with you as Paragon for a lot of time, as you said, me, Warframe, Drac.
Let's forget Drac, because he Switch. Let's just leave Drac alone.
And
Drac
Jolly on the Fortnite. So there's quite a lot of free-to-play that has actually been taken
free to play, yeah, free to play. Please no AAA don't exist in our sphere. AAA don't exist. Especially with all the crap that's been going on with them and loot boxes right now. I'm kind of glad I've been doing free to play.
So, because I was, Drac was starting on with some notes about Game of the Year, and I was thinking, that's going to be annoying and difficult.
It's going to be an early access game.
Yeah, it's going to end up somewhere there. But then I realized everything I played was plagued by bugs, and not just, there's a small glitch. Game crashing bugs, and on the console, on the computer. Game of the Year? Bugs. It's fucking bugs everywhere.
It's a blue screen.
Well, maybe is that maybe because you play on a Mac?
No, but it's on the consoles. It's everywhere.
The Great Tea disaster of 2017.
Yeah.
Gee, let's please tell me about it. Were you having an STD moment with your friend, weren't you? And spilled a cup of tea on your laptop, and then for giving your laptop an STD moment.
I spilled tea on my laptop, and then I took it completely apart and found out that when it was serviced by Apple, they didn't put it back together correctly. Yay. But it's working now after a complete detailing.
So what's this about an STD incident with Grit? I hear you guys had fun.
No idea. The only time we talked about STD was Star Trek.
I was going to say, there was a solid 2-3 weeks right around the same time period when your laptop went, that's all I saw in the Discord was STD this, STD that, STD. That's all I saw.
Yeah,
I think we're talking about Discovery.
Yep, STD this, STD that, yep, because G and Grit had an STD problem, guys. They disagreed on things in Star Trek Discovery.
Yeah, we discovered some stuff about G and Grit.
We did. We discovered many things.
Let's just see. Grit and I don't agree with anybody working on Star Trek Discovery about what Star Trek Discovery should be. So let's just leave it there. Yeah.
That's why they get paid big money, and people like you and me, G, don't, because we have our sense idea of what a Klingon is, and we know what a starship is meant to look like, But the big people have better ideas than us.
Yeah, just the Jar Jar Abrams universe has been horrible end to end.
Well, I disagree. I kind of like the Star Treks that are coming out now. It's more now, more up to date, more relevant. Not long, airy-fairy, long-winded stories from decade.
It's the universe that's wrong. I don't care about the stories, except, oh god, some of the writing has been horrible. It's just been annoying. Is that fair enough to say?
Don't know what you're talking about. The new Star Trek films are great.
And
I like lens flare. Don't know what you're talking about. I want to be blinded when I'm in the cinema. Blinded by awesome.
Yeah, it's all immersion.
We got away.
The thing is, think about it this way: he's not wrong, right? When the sun shines on a shiny piece of metal, you're gonna get blinded by its rays, bro. So he wasn't wrong by doing lens flare everywhere. All you could see is lens flare.
So back to gaming, because I don't want to talk about Star Trek. Indie games. Did you guys play anything in that genre? Because that's where I spent, quite a lot of my time, but just in a lot of various indie games. Some that stood out. Some like Kingsman Castle I had way too much time in. But which indie games were good for you guys?
Anything with Indiana Jones is my favorite indie game, so I don't know if that helps.
Okay.
I play a lot of Adios. And I won't lie, I've still got that, and I play it whenever I want to warm up, because the controls get your fingers all nice and supple, because you've got to do a lot of things with your fingers just to simply land a spaceship. you know, retrograding the ship into the planet and burn. Yeah, it's very taxing on the old fingers. It's a good game. That is a good game.
Exercise your fingers on adios.
Yes. Yes.
So if we asked Bam's wife what her favorite game for you was adios.
Yes.
I got a couple weeks of playtime out of Duck Game. Like I played that for a few weekends there.
Yeah, Duck Game was pretty cool.
Like I got maybe 4 to 6 people on my friends list to have it. I actually have a community on the PlayStation Network. Has like 50 people in it.
I'd say for myself, probably the one that's the most interesting, and I'm still looking forward to more developments, is Wolfson. That one looks really neat. It's kind of like a Diablo style, almost type game. But one of the things that they've built into that's pretty cool is that the magic and stuff that you use can interact either with the environment or other things, just like what was done with Divinity Original Sin, and where if you cast a lightning bolt, across a pool of water, then the water becomes electrified. And so they've got an interesting character progression system in there. It's not necessarily so much like class-based as it is, the abilities that you choose as you level up.
And Jack? And Drac with the genuine game. There we go. Everyone else just said they liked the particular game. Drac gives a full review of the game. There we go. Well done, Drac. Well done.
It's all technical too. It's like, I like it because of this. Like, I like shooting my friends with guns.
Not because you spend time playing it. Yeah.
Or if I jump on my PC, I'll do my Vive, and I'll do hot dogs, horseshoes, and hand grenades. It's another shooting game.
Oh, careful, mate, careful, because that's the game on the Switch now. Careful, you're going into the Nintendo category. Hang on, calm down.
What are you talking about on the Switch?
Calm down. It's that Switch category, calm down.
What are you talking about? It's a Vive game. It's a VR game.
It's going to Switch, bro. Careful, everything's going to Switch. Bethesda,
Switch
Doom. Bethesda is Doom. It's all going Switch, bro. Careful.
You mentioned Bethesda, and I saw this online. I wish I had been the one to think of it, but it's hilarious. They're talking about the new Razer phone, and they're like, and Bethesda comes out, look, we're releasing Doom on the Razer phone.
Surprised it wasn't Skyrim.
Yeah.
That game needs to die, seriously. It needs to die. Skyrim needs to die.
They need to stop making stuff that can play it.
Everything can play Skyrim. Everything can play Fallout 3, 4, Vegas, and whatever have you. Everything can play these games. They just need to develop a new game. Come on, Bethesda. Make a new Skyrim.
I almost fell into that trap.
Skyrim.
I actually almost bought Skyrim VR.
Oh,
almost.
Charlie, if you bought that, I would not let you live that down.
I want Skyrim VR.
I don't think it's on the Vive yet. I don't think the Vive port's in there yet. I think it's just PSVR.
I'm actually tempted to go out and buy myself a PC that actually has a VR headset, and I'm thinking going Vive rather than Oculus.
Yeah, don't get the Oculus. Just build your own PC.
No, I'm going to buy the parts. I'm going to go Vive. I'm not going to go to a store and buy a PC because then I get shit I don't want. I don't want to build my own PC and then get a Vive with it as well. I'm not going to go Oculus. I'm thinking about doing that. Don't tell my wife.
I don't. No worries. I'm pretty sure she'll notice you putting up the lighthouses and stuff inside your room that you're using it in.
I've got
and the bank account.
55-inch
pretty sure
TV
that's going to help out too.
Bolted to a wall that I'm going to plug the tower into. I've already prepped that part of the room up. She doesn't know this yet. Shh.
I want you to get a camera too, and I want you to live stream you playing some Vive games.
Why? No, I'll fall over shit. No.
Exactly why.
Yeah, we're jolly. We want to watch that.
That's gold. Thousands of views. I'd like and share. I'd sub to that channel.
Me too.
You know how many gifs we get out of that? Bam falling over.
Do you know how many dank memes that melt laser beams? No, wait, I said that wrong. Dank memes melt steel beams we get out of that too.
You messed it up.
Yeah, I messed it up. I crashed that one.
So you even messed up the phrase.
I know. I even tried to rectify it by saying crash and burn, but that just made it worse, so I'll stop.
Like Hackers. Remember the movie? Crash and burn.
Hacker man. Laser beams and unicorns. Oh, mate.
Are we getting to the end of this thing?
We're
kind of rambling at the moment, so I think we're kind of...
Yeah. I actually had a note saying we should look back at past episodes, but I think we're out of time.
No, you shut up games. Favorite interview. Everyone else was spectacular, but no, you shut up games. Those guys were, I want to say, my kind of stupid. My kind of peoples. My peoples. Yes, just as fucking crazy as me. I love him.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I've pretty much loved everybody we've had on this year. There's been a lot of good ones. So, can I leave it at that? Nobody mentioned, nobody forgot?
I like it. Anybody that makes me sound good, I like them.
I remember a chipmunk episode. Yeah.
We need to have one. I'm a little surprised that Bam didn't bring up the newsy segment of KFC in space.
No. That was an indie interview. The KFC in space, because KFC is going everywhere now, like Bethesda. Yeah. I might just duct tape my phone to an air balloon and send up to space too. You know, shits and giggles.
Just put it in Elon Musk's car that he sends up to space. It'll be up in around Mars, right?
Oh God, here we go, Elon Musk again. Can we just please just all agree he's actually a supervillain, right? And he's got an evil lair somewhere, right? Can we all just agree on that, please? Because that's what supervillains do, yeah? And we're actually going to get a superhero. I hope it's Captain
he's Lex
Iron
Luthor.
Man.
He's Lex Luthor. He's doing
You
all
think
these
he's
things.
a white Lex Luthor, do you?
Well, no, because he lost his hair, but he grew his hair back. Like,
Lex Luthor's
implanted
whole
his hair
deal
back.
is trying to make everything good and great for the citizens of Metropolis, but really he's doing all these underhanded things. I'm telling you, Elon Musk, that's our Luthor.
He's going to be in all the cars, the power.
I
Bam.
agree. Yeah.
Did you just say he's a white Lex Luthor? Like,
yes.
What color is Lex Luthor?
Yeah, Lex is white.
What the
Lex
hell?
Luthor, bro. Haven't you watched the Batman cartoons, bro? When I was a growing up little Bambino, right? Emphasis Bambino. I watched Batman cartoons, and Lex Luthor was a lovely chocolatey brown.
On Superman the Animated Series and Batman the Animated Series, he was tan, but yes, he was still white. Luthor's always been white.
Ah, thought he was a chocolatey brown dude.
No.
I think that's a TV,
No,
man.
he just has
But
a
let's all agree here. Let's all agree. Elon Musk is Snow White. He is white. He is so white. He puts white bed sheets to shame, mate. He scares ghosts. That's how white
He's
Elon Musk
cauliflower
is.
for sure.
Oh yeah.
I'm just wondering, like, what else in Bam's childhood is a lie?
Oh, so much, I'm sure.
You mean bacon doesn't grow on trees? What? There is no Father Christmas? My wife lied to me. But yeah, seriously, in Batman the cartoons, right? I always thought Lex Luthor was a black dude because he's black.
You
But
just
hey,
have
I
to
tell you what,
contrast
he
off
played it
on your
very
TV,
well.
it sounds, man.
A lot of people thought that he was just a really sweet tan.
I think Bam's TV back in those days, on the other side of the planet in
All it was black and white, right?
Yeah, you couldn't tell. It was just the
There's my
colors were that
excuse.
washed out.
There we go. Thank you, G, for digging me out the hole. I can't help it if I had a black and white TV until 2000, yeah? Well, I actually got upgraded to a 1080p. Here we go, done. There's my excuse, G. Thank you.
Okay, should we wrap this up? Gentlemen, it's been nice talking to you guys. It's been interesting hearing all the TV shows and movies that we either missed or that we should have spent more time watching. And that DC is still not worth watching except for that one movie.
You can't say that. It was okay. Like, the last Justice League was alright. Real moody, but it was alright.
The thing about Justice League, though, is it's kind of it's a step in the right direction. And I know it was... I don't know, some of the stuff I read was that it was performing less than expected or maybe less than some prior movies. But the real thing is here, it's a step in the right direction. And if you want to see them keep going in that direction, support the movie because of the fact that if you don't, then that may send the wrong message to the studio execs and think, oh, well, Batman vs. Superman was the right direction because it did better than Justice League. So we need to go back to that. No, that's not what needs to happen.
Superman finally felt like Superman.
Yeah.
Don't forget, Drac, the end of year, when you file your taxes, remember to include that check you got from Warner Brothers.
Oh, I only wish.
Guys, from me, Bam Havoc, I just found out Lex Luthor was Professor Xavier with a sweet tan. Jesus Christ. Right, my childhood is shattered. Much love, people. I'm out.
And working legs, don't forget that.
That's a lie, too! Ah!
Feel so bad for Bam. This was Jolly Roger. I'll catch you guys another time.
And from the best coast, the West Coast.
Wow. I don't know if I can co-sign on that one.
That was a force.
Oh, fuck, here we go. We're ending on another shitty joke. Well done, Drac. Kill the mood.
I don't know if I'm co-signing on that one. but it is sunny and beautiful out right now, so I guess that doesn't suck.
So enjoy the holidays, guys.
Later, guys.